Hey, good afternoon to you. Mark Sett of HurricaneTrack.com here. Hurricane Outlook and discussion time. I am in Rodanthe, North Carolina. It is Sunday, November 17th, 2019, and we got a lot to talk about. The coastal storm is ongoing. I got that look. I've been out in the elements. Hopefully you have seen some of the video I've posted on Twitter. Also, the Weather Channel has been showing our live cameras, our patrons, our Hurricane Track Insider subscribers, etc. Been working hard out here on the Outer Banks, and I got the hair and the sand in every crevice possible to prove it. It is still hurricane season, so we do have some hurricane season stuff to talk about. And that's in the Atlantic. Yep, a little yellow X, 30 and 40% respectively. That's getting there for November 17th. I mean, here we are, just about 13 days from the end of the season, right? And this area to the east of the northern Leeward Islands, 40% chance of development. A broad area of low pressure appears to be developing, and a subtropical or tropical depression could form. And you remember, the models were advertising this several days ago, and there you go. That's the track potential area over the next several days up towards Bermuda, which is located right here. This will create some rough seas that the swells will propagate out towards the islands. So there will be some impacts from this system, but it's not something, life-threatening or very serious, anything like that, more of a novelty. And yes, it may become a named storm. We'll have to wait and see. We might add one more to the pile before all is said and done. In the eastern Pacific, hurricane season still going on there as well. Raymond fizzling out as it makes its way up towards the Baja here. And then another tropical depression, number 21E, down to the southeast of Raymond. And this one may go on to develop a little bit more as well. So here's the leftovers of Raymond. We'll move up towards the Baja. Moisture will shear off from the system in this direction, and that can add some heavy rain potential to the southern Baja into Mexico. And then that other system, 21, tropical depression 21, what's it forecast to do? Go west generally, fizzle out, and not affect any land areas. And luckily outside of this, nothing else to worry about. Here's a satellite picture of what's happening for the western Atlantic. There's the coastal storm. We'll get to that in just a moment. Remember, this doesn't have a name. It's not a subtropical storm. It's not a tropical storm. It has different processes that make it what it is. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Here's the area east of the islands that we were just talking about. Here is Raymond. Here's 21E. And we're getting ready to have to really watch this area over here for lower 48 weather. So, as I said, a lot to talk about, a very busy pattern overall. So, the first system that we'll address is this right here, the coastal storm. It is a baroclinic system. It's created from different processes than tropical cyclones. It's the atmosphere and energy in the atmosphere, upper level low in the mid and upper levels, with a surface low. But it is over the Gulf Stream, which is warm, and so there is some convection. And you can tell there's a little bit of banding going on in here, but it's not very well organized. It's also got this sort of front attached to it, big comma shape. That's a real big clue that this is a mid-latitude extratropical cyclone. That means it's out of the tropics, so to speak. But the effects are the same, right? Storm surge along the coast, coastal inundation, whatever you want to call it. The heavy rain missed. We did not get the heavy rain that we were thinking in eastern North Carolina. Some areas did, but nothing like was expected. The wind, a little bit lighter than we were thinking it would be, but this has been a pretty big impact event, and I'll show you some video that I have taken. I'm sure you've seen plenty of it on social media from myself, hopefully, as well as others. Again, that's the tropical system trying to develop east of the islands. Here's Raymond, 21E, etc. So a very active pattern as we get through the middle part of November here and getting ready to start the week. So off my Twitter page, here are some videos. This is Merlo Beach. This is Highway 12. And I panned up looking down from the water up Highway 12 looking north. Probably about 20 inches of water there. That's all ocean water. The dune breached, and they're going to have a lot to do, the DOT, to clean all that up, and they're not going to start today. This is looking south along that area in Myrtle Beach, and you're looking at about 8 to 10 inches of sand on the road all through here, and the waves keep coming in and adding to that. And that's from the just today, the high tide tonight, and maybe the one tomorrow could keep adding to this. So if you have plans to get to the Outer Banks south of Oregon Inlet, the new Basnite Bridge, used to be known as the Bonner Bridge, you can forget about it. They're probably just not going to let you, and even if they did, you wouldn't make it unless you're in one heck of a vehicle. Some of those dualies, whatever they call them, the deuce and a halves, those could do it, but the average Chevy Tahoe or Ford or Dodge, I just don't think so in some of these spots. Trust me, all right? And, so don't even try. I'm going to stay out here. I'm not trying to leave, so if you're wanting to get out here, just be a little bit patient. This is real close to where I'm staying. You can see the water rushing in behind there. That's the road. That is Seashore Drive at Ocean in Rodanthe. And as you can see, I pan over here to the left, looking down towards the house that I'm staying in, a good friend of ours, one of our patrons and supporters. And it's just been doing this all day. None of this is a surprise, and nobody complains about it down here that I know of, especially the people that have lived here. It's part of living here, and people deal with it. They have a good attitude about it. They live with the ocean, especially people that have lived here for more than a generation. Newcomers, they may complain about it, I guess, because they're not used to it yet, but they'll fall in line soon enough. This is what it looked like last night. Foam, looked like snow. That was really, really weird seeing that, but that was last night up near the Pea Island Visitor Center. This was New Bern. I have a camera that I set up in New Bern. This was earlier yesterday evening, and then the water level came up and flooded Union Point with about a foot of water. Our technology at work again. And then this one, I really like this video. I'll go full screen on it. Drop the audio. That's a big sandstorm, and me and my friend Tony, we're out here, and we were helping a guy get unstuck. We brought a snow shovel with us. I brought it, prepared for this kind of thing. And there was a commercial vehicle that got stuck. It's a guy's van, and we helped him get out. It took about an hour and a half, and he better be glad we did, because what happened up there, that's near the past the Pea Island Visitor Center, and near the dunes up there that get breached often. The water comes over. Anyway, if that guy had not gotten unstuck, his vehicle would have been swamped today. So Tony did most of the work. I just filmed. We helped him get out, and it just shows you, you got to be careful out here. It's usually not life-threatening as long as you use common sense. And I've been in 20-something hurricanes, never lost a vehicle. Knock on Formica that never happens, but it's always nice to help somebody out, and I'm glad that Tony mostly did that. About 95% of the shoveling while I documented everything. Okay, so looking ahead, this is the GFS from this morning, and you can see our coastal storm right here. Analyzed at about 996 millibars or so never got down to 989 like the GFS was thinking earlier in the week. So as we move this out into time, and let's get rid of me just for a moment. There we go. That way we can focus on what's going to happen out west. So watch what happens. The low moves out, kind of up the coast. Some frozen precip in New England, some breezy conditions, but nothing you guys can't handle. But then watch what happens here at hour 48. Not much over here, but an upper level low is going to dig in, and things are going to get really interesting out west, especially the desert southwest, as the moisture from leftover Raymond and upper level energy comes in, sets all that off, creates the instability needed. Surface low over southern Cal, all that green and blue, you guessed it. Precip, maybe heavy at times, flash flooding in the deserts, snow up here in the Rockies. I wish that I could just jump on a plane at RDU, that's Raleigh, right here, and fly out to LAS, which is Vegas, or PHX, which is Phoenix, but I can't. It's just, there's no way I can get out of here and get my equipment and do that. Because this is going to be a big impact event. Lower 48 weather, yep, we cover that too. And you folks out in the desert Southwest, get ready. We do have quite a few viewers out there, followers of my work, and even a couple of patrons and supporters. So be ready for this. Heavy rain, you need it. So it's good, but it is going to be impactful. So do keep that in mind. All right, so I will be staying out here by default. That means I have to. I can't leave tonight and maybe tomorrow. We'll see. The DOT will hopefully get to work after tomorrow's high tide and start clearing Highway 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up another camera right at Merlo Beach later tonight. Tony's going to help me. He has been a big help. Tony's from Wilmington as well, Wilmington, North Carolina. He's in my 2018 documentary, if you haven't seen that. And he studies and checks. He's a meteorologist too, so he's all into this weather thing as well. And he and I are going to put a camera system up at Merlo Beach looking right up Highway 12. The Weather Channel will be showing that tomorrow, I'm sure, and we'll post some pictures and some clips from that. And of course, you can log in on Patreon if you're one of our patrons and watch it live. I want to show the clearing of the highway. I think that could be really cool to watch, you know, something different. All right, so that is it. That's what's happening out there, a busy pattern. We're getting close to the Thanksgiving travel period, and with the amount of people that are going to be hitting the road and the airways, we'll focus on that week coming up fairly soon. All right, so that's it for me for today and this evening as we get towards evening time. It's coming. As always, thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I'm Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, reporting from Rodanthe on the North Carolina Outer Banks, a magnificent place, especially when it's not stormy, but when it is stormy, it's really fascinating to study. I'll be honest about it. There's something about it. It's magical. It's amazing. It's disruptive. I get that, but it's nice to be here. And I appreciate Dan letting me stay at his house once again. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll be back with more for you tomorrow.